For decades, Area 51 has stood as the ultimate symbol of secrecy, a remote desert facility where the unknown isn't questioned, just hidden. Officially, it's an Air Force testing site, yet its name has become tied to strange lights, buried projects, and stories no agency will ever address. And with every new whistleblower, blurry sighting, or leaked document, the legend surrounding this place only becomes darker and harder to ignore. These are 5 disturbing mysteries of Area 51. Number 5. The fake moon landing. The idea that the Apollo 11 moon landing was staged began in the 1970s, when writer Bill Kaysing claimed NASA lacked the technology to reach the moon and had faked it on Earth. Soon the story gained layers, a Hollywood set, Stanley Kubrick directing, and finally a secret military base in Nevada where it supposedly happened. The barren terrain of Groom Lake, with its dust and isolation, matched the lunar aesthetic too perfectly for conspiracy theorists to ignore. As the Cold War paranoia spread through the 1980s and 1990s, Area 51 became the perfect backdrop, a silent, restricted world where fake astronauts could act out the mission away from prying eyes. In this version, a full lunar module replica was built inside a hangar surrounded by lights, cameras, and military personnel sworn to secrecy. Footage was filmed, edited, and later broadcast worldwide as history. Supporters of the hoax theory still point to inconsistencies, shadows pointing in different directions, a flag that appears to ripple, and the absence of stars in the sky. To them, Area 51 explains everything. The only place capable of staging such a massive illusion without witnesses. To everyone else, it's proof of how a real base born for secrecy became the perfect canvas for imagination. Number 4. Reverse-engineered alien technology. The military history of Area 51 already sounds like science fiction. It hosted test flights for the U-2 spy plane in the 1950s, the SR-71 Blackbird in the 1960s, and the stealth F-117 Nighthawk in the 1980s, aircraft so advanced that witnesses thought they were seeing UFOs. Each project was denied for years, which later fueled the belief that stranger machines might be hidden there today. That belief exploded in 1989 when a man named Bob Lazar appeared on television claiming he had worked near Area 51 at a facility called S4. He described 9 flying discs stored in underground hangars, one of which he nicknamed the Sport Model. According to Lazar, his job was to reverse engineer their propulsion system, a reactor powered by an exotic fuel he called Element 115, capable of bending gravity itself. Skeptics note the lack of verifiable evidence, but Lazar's story changed how people viewed the base. Strange lights performing impossible maneuvers around Groom Lake soon became part of the legend. Even after Element 115 was officially synthesized decades later, his tale remains suspended between hoax and possibility, a reminder that some myths only need one confident witness to live forever. Number 3. The J-Rod entity and the scientist Dan Burisch. In the early 2000s, microbiologist Dan Burisch, also known as Dan Crane, claimed he had been recruited into classified programs tied to Area 51. His work, he said, took place in the same secret S4 facility mentioned by Bob Lazar, but with a biological twist. There, he allegedly studied a being known as J-Rod, a thin, gray-skinned entity kept alive in a sealed chamber called the Clean Sphere. Burisch described J-Rod as intelligent, fragile, and suffering from a degenerative nervous condition. Communication wasn't verbal. It occurred through impressions and emotions, a form of telepathy he claimed left him mentally exhausted. During sample collections, he said the being transmitted images of pain, fear, and nostalgia, as if remembering another world or another time. Later versions of the story took it further. J-Rod wasn't an alien, but a human from the distant future, evolved and diseased by radiation. Burish's testimony turned Area 51 into a crossroads between biology and time travel, part laboratory, part tomb. No documents ever proved his employment, but his account still circulates in UFO communities as one of the eeriest encounters ever tied to the Nevada desert. Number 2. Majestic 12, The Secret Committee. In 1984, a roll of undeveloped film arrived anonymously at a filmmaker's door. Inside were what appeared to be classified government memos dated 1947, signed by President Truman, authorizing a group called Majestic 12. The supposed purpose: investigate UFO crashes, starting with Roswell, and control all recovered technology and biological specimens. It was the origin story of the Men in Black ideal. Within a few years, the documents were discussed on national television and analyzed by ufologists. They described 12 high-ranking scientists and military leaders meeting in secrecy under presidential orders. The details matched ongoing rumors that Area 51 was where such evidence was stored and tested. For believers, MJ-12 was the brain, Area 51 was the body. Official agencies, including the FBI, labeled the documents fabricated after handwriting and formatting inconsistencies surfaced. But the myth persisted, expanding into claims of government pacts with extraterrestrials, technology in exchange for silence. Whether deliberate disinformation or an elaborate hoax, Majestic 12 cemented Area 51's reputation as the beating heart of America's cosmic conspiracy. Number 1. The Alien Interview. In 1997, a mysterious videotape surfaced on television under the title Area 51, The Alien Interview. The footage, supposedly leaked by a man identified only as Victor, showed a dim interrogation room where a small gray being sat behind glass, breathing heavily as unseen voices questioned it. The camera never moves, and the scene feels like raw surveillance, cold and bureaucratic. Midway through the tape, the creature begins convulsing. Its breathing accelerates, lights flicker, and voices off-screen shout for medical help. Someone rushes into frame, and then the recording cuts abruptly. There are no credits, no follow-up, only that silent collapse frozen forever on video. For many, it looked exactly like what they imagined an alien debriefing would be: clinical, tense, and disturbingly believable. Analysts later found inconsistencies suggesting an elaborate puppet, but by then the myth was complete. The tape spread online, copied, restored, and discussed for years. It tied together every rumor: Lazar's S4, Majestic 12, the Grays of Roswell, into one unforgettable image. Whether fake or real, the Alien Interview remains the most iconic visual ever linked to Area 51. The moment when speculation took form, stared into the camera, and almost seemed to breathe.
This is just the beginning. The Forsaken is a new channel, and your presence gives life to the cult. Join us for more disturbing stories every week. Until then, rest. We'll meet again in another tale.